Hello and welcome back to the show. So, I am excited to welcome my guest for today, my good friend and business partner, Rashmi Nair, who is a serial entrepreneur who owns and runs multiple successful businesses, as well as being a real estate agent and a real estate investor who's actually an expert in helping businesses and real estate agents implement AI and technology into their day-to-day business to make sure that they're running smoothly, saving time, and being as efficient as possible. So in today's episode, Rashmi is going to be sharing with us a little bit about her experience and background, how she got started as a business owner, how she's able to own multiple businesses at the same time, and also some advice on how real estate agents and entrepreneurs out there can implement AI the most successful way into their day-to-day business as well. So Rashmi, welcome to the show. I am really excited to have you join us here today.
Thank you, Kobe, for that wonderful introduction. I'm really excited about the podcast since we have been talking about it. I would like to start by giving a quick intro. My whole life, I have been in healthcare. That's my background. I used to teach at multiple universities, the pharmacy school, and I have a PhD in pharmacy and healthcare. So that's the total background I have. But while working in healthcare industry, many of the other healthcare professionals and colleagues of mine will agree it's the most stressful place to work in. And therefore, whenever I got stressed out, I was looking for venues on how can I try to take that stress away. One of the things that it just occurred to me, I used to watch HGTV all the time, and whenever I saw them doing a house or thing, it made me feel so good that there is an end product, there is a satisfaction to it. So I one day I just decided with my friends that, you know what, let's try our hands at flipping. So it was very difficult with the schedule that I had working in corporate to go ahead and find houses at the time that the realtor is available, I'm available, my friends are available. So then I was like, okay, you know what, I want to be a realtor as a passion or a hobby, right? So I took a realty license just because I wanted this as my stress relieving hobby stuff. And I'll tell you, it was like really fun to learn about all the laws and regulations. But once I got my license, it was much easier because now I could go and see the houses that I want to see whenever I want. So with my friends, I would go around. We did actually three flips, and I'll tell you, my stress relief was the best when I took a sledgehammer and then I broke the wall. It was amazing. I recommended that to all of my colleagues who will be like, oh my God, we are stressed. I'll be like, okay, come join our project that we're working on, like putting up a tile, doing all of those small things. It's very satisfying. And for people who are always working in front of computers, like how I was, it's a very different thing. It's totally different. You are actually doing something and seeing an end result of it, and it makes that much more satisfaction, and therefore you feel like you achieved something. And that's my introduction into realty. So then once I started doing that, I wanted more and more understanding of it. And that's why I got to work with a lot more investors who buy property for investment. So it was not just flips, but we also started looking into properties which are long-term rentals. We can also buy and then flipping, obviously, we were doing on the side. That's my background on how we like for me personally, I entered the land of realty. But I'll tell you, it's been a journey from healthcare. Now I think it's been 2 years I quit my job and I am full-fledged entrepreneur. Like you said, I do have a branded apparel and promotional products company which is fully promoted Princeton, which is all about making other businesses stand out. The best part is that because I already know a lot of realty agents and realty groups, I work with them and I know how what is needed for every realtor to stand out in their business. So not only do I offer products, I also offer consulting. So I work with them and say, how can they stand out in the area? How can they make sure whatever clients they have, how can you retain it? Because one very key aspect when we go out is to make sure whoever we interact, they want to come back to us. So be it other agents, be it other clients, we want to make sure that our name is on top of their list. And that's exactly what I align when I do both realty and this business. So everything I do, I try to keep it aligned. It kind of makes my work a lot more easier. So all my businesses, so this is just one other business. So another thing I do is, because I do have a healthcare background, I'm extremely passionate about my healthcare aspect of it, because I think in this country we need to focus a little bit more on wellness and well-being, which we are not. We talk about it, but we really don't focus and understand what well-being is. Well-being is a holistic way of looking at stuff. So I do talk shows, and I also work with local healthcare departments and hospital systems, where we teach people on how to live a healthy life. One of the things is I'm also a yoga instructor. And so I recommend that incorporate yoga into your life. And yoga, many people don't understand, it's not stretching exercise. It is a part of how you are. And you need to think about yoga in how you live your lifestyle. So, for example, it's not just about waking up and then getting up and doing some exercise. It's about what you put into your body. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What time you wake up? What time you're sleeping? Everything together. And lately, I have been also into trying to compare yoga with Tai Chi, because Tai Chi is another olden practice which is very good. And so I always recommend doing things which are slower movements, which are easy on the body, because there is a wrong concept that we have been talking about, where we are saying, oh, go to the gym, do the weights, do the things. It's good, it gives you immediate result. But if you want to have a long term sustainable result and way of living, it should be something that you can do daily, even at your home or even while you're going to work. And that is slow movements. Don't want to put pressure on your joints, on your knees. You want to have that slow way of incorporating everything into your life. It's about breathing slowly, making sure that you understand how your breath moves. I can do a whole session on that, but basically everything I do is tied together. So when I talk to agents, I look at what they do, I look at how much work they have to do, where they go, what kind of clients they meet, and then I try to incorporate my healthy living into my talks with them. Also, I try to bring my branding and marketing and consulting expertise also. So it's like a complete package. I don't leave one aspect out. I will encourage anyone who is an entrepreneur to think about it like it's all one piece. You are one person doing different things. So if you can connect it, you should be able to bring that same value back to your clients, to everyone you interact with. And obviously, the key to all of these, be a realty agent, be it a business owner, everything will work only if you can network. And networking is key for every single aspect. So when I collect people, I share people. I like to say that, because it doesn't matter if I'm going as a business owner for my branding event. When I meet, I also tell them, hey, I'm a realty agent as well. So if there is anything that you're looking for, like a commercial property, or if you're looking for a luxury house, or whatever it's that you're looking for, I can help you. Now you're already working with me on one thing, you know how I work and you know my style. I'll also help you with the other aspect. So it's like I'm a one-stop shopping to do a lot of stuff. That's how I introduce myself.
Absolutely. So, I think a big lesson we can take away from that is, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? Which is something that we've heard a lot of from different trainers and coaches and speakers out there. And I think you have been able to really incorporate and live that in your day-to-day life, because as somebody from the outside looking in, they see you running multiple businesses and they're thinking, wow, how does somebody manage even the time to do this? But the way that you've set it up is everything has connected to each other. There is
Right.
synergy between your businesses, between your lifestyle, your interests, your hobbies. Everything is connected together, and you're able to basically present yourself as this full service consultant to individuals that
Right.
need your help, regardless of what area of life that they need one of your services in. Does that sound about correct?
That's absolutely right. That's exactly how I live my life every day.
Yes, and I think it's very impressive, right? So a lot of people want, to start their own business. People get into real estate and they struggle a lot with just managing their time around, having their own schedule all of a sudden. You've, not only been able to do that, but you've been able to do that and start incorporating other aspects into your overall business proposition as well. So what are some tips you have for people when it comes to time management? I'm sure, as a serial entrepreneur out there, there's many opportunities coming at you, right, all at the same time. There's people pitching business ideas. I'm sure pitching investments, tools, and resources. And I'm sure you have your own ideas that you can, think of and come up with, just how the mind of an entrepreneur works. How do you manage and distinct between something that is actually important to you versus, something that you might want to put to the side? And also what could be a distraction, so that way you are making sure you're using your time in the most efficient manner.
So when I initially moved from corporate to business, it was a big, huge change because when you're in a corporate life, your calendar is literally just set for you. You don't have much control over it. But when you start into business, now you have this whole day, and now you're like, okay, I have to do this, that, and sometimes you're like, okay, I'm tired, I can just sit. So I learned it that if I just like take my time, then I'm not going to do anything. So I
Mhm.
started putting a structure to stuff. That's very important. So, and that's why I said it works for all aspects of what I do. Structure is key. What time you wake up, what are you thinking, and what is your day going to be like? So what I do is I put a to-do list, and the way the to-do list works for me is, as I'm winding down for the day, I will be like, okay, I have the XYZ task, right? I have three things I have to do for one of the businesses. I have two things for something else. So everything that I have to do, I have a list. I have a running list. I call it my running list. And what I do is I put it all together and then I see which one takes priority from all of these. I start marking it down. And that market list is my to do for the next day. Now, some days I have like 20, 25 items on my list that I need to like accomplish to get the day done. But is it possible all the time? Do I beat myself if I don't get it all done? No, because I'm human. I understand that I'm trying to achieve my best. And therefore, I don't try to go into this thing, oh, I didn't do it and now it's kind of eating me up. I try my best to meet all of these. And the way I plan it is also, even if there are 20, 25 items, what can I pull together and like combine? In that way, I can get two things done at the same time. So I try to combine things as much as I can. There have been days where I have achieved 32 things in one day, one go, because I was able to combine a lot of stuff. So when I say 32 items, it might be like follow up with 3 4 clients. So if that 3 4 clients are different locations, I mark it like, okay, where do I start and how do I come back? In that way, I don't do multiple back and forth. I try to keep it like in one like direction. And in that way, so if I'm going to one location, let's say I'm going today to Princeton, then everyone in Princeton gets to meet with me, talk to me, get all of things. So it can be realty, it can be healthcare, it can be my branding. But I try to reduce the amount of time commuting. That's important too when you are always on the road. Second thing is I also make sure when I'm making the list, if I promise somebody that I'm going to do something, that's on my top of the list. If I told somebody I'm going to give you a call, I make sure I call them. I know Kobe, like with you, when in the beginning we were like trying to, and that was the time I was starting up and I was trying to figure out. There were so many times I like, played phone tag with you or was texting back and forth. Finally, I was like, this doesn't work for me. I need to set it that if I'm telling somebody that I'm going to do something, I want to do. That's a key aspect for any business owner, any entrepreneur, that you put things down. You need to make sure that you own it and you are achieving it. If you told somebody that you're going to call them, text them, email them, do it. If I go for any event, I make sure I will have a post, I will have an email going to everyone that I met with. It's a follow up because you want people to remember you. It's like 6 or 7 is in my head, the number that touches that people need to have for them to remember you. So, and also I have a habit of repeating names in the head. In that way, multiple times when I repeat, I can remember people's name. In this is these are small trips and tricks that I incorporated into my daily routine because it was very difficult for me to remember the number of people I meet and their names. So I started connecting them with different things like who their friends are, what do they have a dog, like simple things. First I used to write it all down, but now I just start bringing that into my conversation, repeating it multiple times, and in that way it remains in my head. So basically, structure is key. That's the first point. Structure is key. If you promise somebody that you're going to do something, then do it. That's second. Three is follow up, making sure if you're going for events, networking, whatever it is, you follow up via email, phone calls, and also make sure you're posting it, because in today's media world, if you don't post anything, you didn't do it. So you want to make sure you are making your presence felt. And the last thing, which is the most important thing, is what is the outcome that you're trying to achieve? And that's what I look at. So for example, if I'm thinking of myself and I want to make sure that my clients are happy with whatever I do, then that is my end goal. I start with that in the mind and then I work backwards. If I have a customer and I don't give them enough attention and I don't give them the quality that I really want, they will never come back to me. So I want to make sure that every interaction they have with me or my team, I'm always giving them that same experience. So most of my clients for my businesses are always repeat, and these repeat clients actually keep growing, and then they give you referrals. Um, so it's important that also one thing I forgot to mention is reviews. It's very important to ask for reviews. When we interact with people, we forget to do that. So, for example, if I meet an agent and they liked my service, now I make it a habit. Can you please leave us a review? And then sometimes I offer discounts and I say, hey, if you leave us a review, then we will give you XYZ over your next purchase. But it's basically motivating them because their time is important too. And I'm just trying to take that into account. So these are small things, but main and major one is structure your day and make sure that you have a list, because otherwise you will not be able to run with it.
Absolutely. If you plan ahead, you are able to get more done than if you didn't plan, right? I love
Yeah,
the tips that you gave on some of the things that agents can do when it comes to combining tasks, right?
yeah,
It's actually something we talk quite a lot about within our group as well. You know, how do we make sure we get two things done at the same time, right?
correct,
Driving and listening to an audiobook, right? Or exercising and listening to a podcast, something like that, right?
correct.
You can combine your tasks. And then also the tip about, planning your day as far as your route, right? Agents travel a lot, business owners like yourself travel a lot, meet their clients, meet with vendors. So if you're planning your route in a way where you're able to not have to waste any time, then that's how you can be much more efficient. So I think that is a very key point that I just really wanted to point out and highlight that you mentioned is if you plan, you can be so much more efficient and get
Yes.
so much more done than you thought you could.
Absolutely. And another thing is it's environmentally friendly when you're driving. That was one of my key goals too. Like yesterday, the whole day I was traveling, but I planned it in a way that my fuel efficiency is also improved. In that way, I'm not spending too much on that. So it's work, not work harder, it's work smarter. That's what I think we should do. It's not necessary that you're working 24/7, but it's how you make your work to work for you 24/7.
Yes, I absolutely love that. You have to think about exactly how you're able to get your time to work for you in the most efficient manner. And that's how you're able to accomplish so much, right, at the same time. And speaking on, getting things done in an efficient manner, I just really wanted to point out that, recently we just did a presentation together on AI for real estate agents and really all businesses and how to implement AI into
Correct.
their day to day. So you've been talking a lot about AI, right, with your different clients. Obviously you were able to do a presentation which is really well built out and really informative. I'll leave the link in the description below of this podcast, so you guys wanted to check that out, you can. But why don't you share with us a little bit on, how did you get into, leveraging AI? Because I remember when we first started talking about AI, it was before AI became this very popular thing that everybody, started using. It was, I think it was a few years ago. So you were really on the front edge of this. What made you get into AI, and what are some things that you would say to agents that want to start implementing it?
The reason I got into AI is one because of my corporate background, but
Mhm.
at the same time, it was also because I wanted to make my life a little bit more efficient. So, all the things that we do, for example, emails that we get, um, it's very, for me, it was like very logical that if I can cut down on the noise and focus on what I need to, then that would be good. And AI is a tool which was helping me do that. And like I said, because I was in corporate, we did have, like, a little bit early adoption that we had. And as a result, I started noticing that if I can prioritize and take away the ones which I don't really feel is needed for me. So I had buckets. I had 3 buckets in every email that I do. One is the one which I really need to pay attention to, and I prioritize those as the most important category for me. My second one is I just need to know, like, be in the loop of it and be there. But it is, oh, sorry, the second one is where I need to be in the loop, but I'm not like urgently needed there. I need, probably I can react to that in a day or two. The
Mhm.
third one was something that I just need to be in the loop of, where I don't have to do anything. It is just for FYI. And that's how I divided my email bucket. And when I started running my business, also, I figured, first I was a little bit like finding it difficult because I came from corporate. And when I'm looking at setting up my own account, Outlook, and everything, it was not that easy for me to, like, think about how to do it. I was like, wait a minute, I could do that in my corporate life. I need to do that here. So I started building folders. And in the folders, I started thinking, okay, why am I sitting and routing everything manually when I can start using AI for it? Another thing that everyone, I think, now most people do it. ChatGPT is what you can use. You don't want ChatGPT to really just start drafting, but you can give it an idea. it
Mhm.
will give you it will give you the response based on your search criteria that you're putting in, or the question that you're framing there. So you need to use the right term, and that's why I would say put a little effort into understanding what do you want, what kind of personality are you. Use that personality to respond. And you if you the chat gpt is just one, but all of these AI tools learn from you. So if you start putting your personality description out there, it will take how you talk, how you write, your writing style, and it will customize it for you that way. So it doesn't feel like, oh, it's someone else writing. It will feel like how you write it and how you think, and it will give you suggestions based. So you can take a lot of time out of these small things that you were doing, give it to AI, and AI can do it while you focus on things that only you can do. And that's how I started using more and more AI. So today, like, all of the work I do, simple things like invoicing, so simple things like reaching out to clients, my CRM system, all of these I use AI because it's easier for me. I enter all of that information. Previously, if I was sitting and doing it, it would take me a lot of time. Right now, I don't spend much time doing any of these. Even for social media post, I know what I want to post. I have a theme. It's not like I don't have, I just leave all of it to AI. Like, it's all based on what my market is, what my audience is. It's all research based, and I will look at it and say, oh, I want to do this. Like, in October we had Diwali, which is the festival of lights, and I wanted to like give that message out, but at the same time attract my clients to spend some money with me for Diwali. So my marketing, my social media, everything needed to be like aligned, where I'm talking about it, and I'm talking about like importance of them and how they can use that festival for their clients. So it's not only just that I'm marketing, but I'm also giving them tips on how they can use the same theme and direct it towards their clients. So basically, that's how I started using AI for my businesses. Like I said, because I'm doing multiple things, it's very important for me to make sure that I'm not only being efficient, I'm also trying to make my life easier by using tools and technology that is available. So, one thing I certainly would like recommend everyone to do is don't be scared of technology. If you start putting your hands in there, you will find it is not a scary thing. But if you sit outside, like, it's like swimming, right? If you stand outside the water and you're like, oh my God, I need to learn to swim, but I'm scared of water. Until and unless you jump into the water, you're never going to learn to swim. AI is the same way. You need to not be worried about it. You just need to. That's why I was in my AI for realtors. That's what we were talking about. The reason I went into what AI is, because if you understand what it is, then it's easier for you to jump in. So same thing. It's once you dip your feet in there, you will actually start enjoying it, and you'll see how much easier it makes your life. Like, we were talking about using AI for CRM tools. We were using talking about using it for simple things like sending a bulk email to the market or the audience that you want. These are things that we can do simply as realty agents, because it's simple enough that we can get the tool, learn it, put it in the system, and it does it for you. Now you don't have to spend time. So that was some of the examples that we used, but it applies for anything. Automation is key. So if we can automate some of the simple tasks, we can also do lead generation. We talked about that. We also talked about personalizing everyone's email so that even though you are having it, you still can send a personalized letter. It doesn't take much time, but now it is that you don't have to spend that time. So I would say that AI is something that we don't need to be scared about. We need to use it as a complement of what we do.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because, I think a lot of times there's two types of individuals when it comes to AI on, the spectrum of, utilizing AI. One is the agent or the entrepreneur who is so afraid of it they don't want to touch it, right? They just have never even opened ChatGPT in their life,
Correct.
and that's one end of the spectrum. And then the other end of the spectrum is somebody who thinks they need to use AI for every single aspect of their business and then forget the actual end result of what they're trying to accomplish. And then it just becomes a game of how do I implement AI, right? When they may or may not even need it. So I think it's important that you mention that because you want to think about your end result, what you're trying to accomplish, what is it that you want to do, and what are some things that you want to be able to outsource to an AI technology or an AI tool. And then at that point, if you're new to it, be able to actually go ahead and try it, right? And I love the analogy you gave with swimming because if you don't go out there, if we're not willing to be bad at something first, to make a mistake, to take a risk, right? And it's not, risky with AI if you're just kind of starting out, right? You're just messing around with this new tool, but if we're not willing to do that, we will never improve and we're just going to get left behind as the tools itself improve and find ways to be able to get implemented in your business. So I think that's a really good point that you just brought up there.
Yes, I strongly believe that people sometimes don't do things because they are scared. Same thing about business too. I learned that I wanted to start business even when I was working in the corporate for such a long time. But every time I was like, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the. It's just you need to jump in. Once you do, you will figure it out. You will easily do it. And like you said, AI is not something that is going to be like, oh my God, I made a mistake. What now? You can learn at it and then you can practice and make yourself better for it every day. And AI becomes better for it also.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's a great, kind of summarization of our the presentation that you were able to put on
Yeah.
for agents. So if you guys are interested or learn a little bit more about that, just make sure to check out the link. I'll make sure to highlight it in the description or the show notes below this podcast, so that way you guys can find the full presentation and be able to learn a little bit more about AI, how to implement it in your business, and some of the best practices as well. So, just kind of wrapping up a little bit on today's conversation, I really wanted to have you have the opportunity to share a little bit about your experience and your decision to partner up with EXP Realty and more specifically our group within the company, the Wolfpack, as well, and just kind of share with us a little bit about that decision process, kind of what made you decide that you wanted to partner up with EXP as an agent, and how has that experience been for you so far?
So Kobe, thank you for asking that question because my introduction to EXP was with you. I started because when I reached out, you were the one who connected back with me, and so my first image of EXP Realty started with you. So kudos to you. Amazing team to work with because the way you introduced me, it felt like, okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Why EXP Realty? Because it gives me flexibility. It gives me the freedom to do what I want to do. And it also helps me build my brand. And it's global. So it's easier for me if I want to grow and scale.
Mhm.
So this EXP is basically for realty agents who want to think on a global level, who wants flexibility, who wants to be able to use technology, and who wants to be able to run your realty practice like a business, not a hobby like I was trying to do. It's a business. Realty is also a business. You need to think about it. So it fits. So EXP is able to help me achieve that. Now, the Wolfpack gang amazing, because it's the amount of support, amount of material that is being posted, the videos, all the how the team is able to bring a lot of stuff to other realty agents. And also it makes me feel proud that I'm part of this group, because we are not only able to put out all the good information that we do, but also it makes me feel recognized. It makes me feel like, okay, I'm part of a group which is in the right direction, which is thinking exactly like how I am, and I want to become more and more. So it's also an inspiration for me. So I really am glad. I think it is a sign for me that I got to meet with you, and I was able to like join EXP and be part of the Wolfpack gang.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad that we got connected and you reached out because, I really enjoy working with you as well. And being able to deliver more value to agents, as well as help you in your business too, right? Because I understand, we've talked a lot in the, kind of in the past, maybe year or so about, you expanding your business, not just in your market, but also helping investors in different markets as well, and leveraging the network and the tools and the platform that EXP provides for you to be able to help other real estate investors in different states and even internationally be able to succeed and help you succeed, of course, as an agent or referring agent in that realm as well.
Yes, and Kobe, thank you. That's why I was talking global, because one of the things I want our listeners to know is that with the EXP Realty, you have the freedom to not only be in the state that you are, you can have ties with the EXP Realty agents all across US, but additionally, you can also be part of the international team. And therefore, it is very, very valuable to be a part of the EXP Realty team.
Yep, absolutely. It's really an expansion of your market share,
Correct.
in my opinion, right? Because you're looking at it now from a much more global perspective, and you can expand your market share, your businesses, the service that you offer as well. And also, for somebody like yourself who own multiple businesses, it gives you an opportunity to connect with other real estate agents, see what it is they want, and then also be able to offer them value as well through your other businesses that you're running.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And on that note, I just wanted to kind of wrap up today with this, I guess, last question here for you, which is, we've had, an experience where I actually became one of your clients
Yes.
recently for one of your businesses. And I personally had a wonderful experience when it comes to the value that you were able to deliver with, what I wanted. It actually went way above and beyond what had originally expected as well. So I just wanted to first take an opportunity to thank you for that. But for our listeners out there who are running their own business, who are maybe their own real estate agent, maybe they're a team leader, maybe they're a brokerage owner, maybe they're somebody who just is ready to focus more on promoting themselves and especially their business and their brand, tell us a little bit more about how you can help other businesses, including agents, brands, individuals, anybody who wants to really level up their brand recognition in their market. How are you able to help them, and why is that so important to have a vendor like yourself to service them in that realm?
Kobe, first of all, thank you for the good review you gave me. Because I truly, like I said, for me, every client interaction is something where I want my customers to be really happy. So for me, any a thoughtful branded gift is like converts your clients into lifelong referrers. That's how I look at it. So basically, whenever I do meet with somebody, I always leave something behind. And so, what I will tell other real estate agents and brokers and everyone is every interaction you have, you want them to remember you, and you want them to remember you in a way that they're like, oh, wait, I got this nice hat. Your hat was one perfect. I really liked it. And that's why I was saying we should do the 3D one, because it's amazing. But anytime you give, even if it's a business card with a pen attached to it, or it is just a hat, a t-shirt, or some small keychain, things that work with realty groups. I always say, oh, we had a realty agent who was going for an event, and I recommended the lid openers. It's not the can openers. It's a rubber sheet, but if you hold that and you twist the cans, the bottle openers basically, it's very nice. It was a hit, and she came back and she told me that as a result of that, she got 5 new clients. just because they she had her logo on it and they had all the info, and this is so easy to use that they kept it at their home, and it's multiple times they're seeing it day in day out. And as a result they were like, oh wait, we know her, let's just call her, because it's memory that they remember her now. So I say keep the, like, anything that you're giving out as a touch, and that's where I come in. I will recommend stuff which will work for your clients, where they, any interaction you have becomes multiple touches. With one touch you need to be able to generate that, and that's what I would like to recommend. So at Fully Promoted Princeton, if you follow our like social media, which is at FP Princeton NJ, we will also send the link so that you can, or the QR code where you can look at it and scan it and then follow us. But what we try to do is we do small things which will help your brand become more popular with your end client. And so it's about building a partnership. It is not just a transaction. Every interaction you have, think about it as a lifelong relationship that you're building. And that's how you want. And for that purpose, you need to consider us as your partner. So, Fully Promoted Princeton likes to be a partner, not just a supplier who gives you something. We want to understand you, we want to understand your client, and we want to make sure that you make a lasting impression.
Yes, and I can't agree with you more because, a lot of times as a real estate agent, what you want to do to separate yourself, or really as any business owner, is provide something where it's an anchoring item, right? A physical gift, a physical item, it becomes an anchor. So if you give somebody, like you said, a really nice gift, or something that when they pick it up, they really associate a positive emotion or a positive memory with you, it becomes a way for you to build that lifelong relationship with your clients who will refer you to other clients and so on and so forth. So that was a great story that you shared when somebody actually picked up 5 new clients just based on a gift that they shared, right? So that's the power of physical gifting and anchoring tools, right, that we have in business. And I think as real estate agents, it's really easy to do this because you are interacting with other clients on a day-to-day basis. You're in their homes, right? What a great opportunity for you to anchor yourself by providing them with a gift that they will remember and cherish and, associate with you as well. So, absolutely important, and definitely encourage anybody out there to, very least, reach out and learn a little bit more about how Fully Promoted Princeton can help you in your business for sure, because definitely delivered above and beyond for myself. I can say that as a testament.
Thank you, Kobe. And as part of the podcast that we're doing, I want to offer anyone who reaches the first 10 podcast listeners who reach out to us, I will give them a free spec sample, so that they can see how we do and what we do. And we can also give a 30-minute consulting to work with the ideas that we can give for making sure that their brand shines.
Oh, absolutely. That's very generous. So you guys definitely, if you guys are watching this or listening to this, make sure to reach out. But Rashmi, I just want to say thank you for your time for today, for sharing all of these valuable information and tips and advice that you've acquired through your time as an entrepreneur, running multiple businesses. And for our listeners out there, if they want to reach out directly to you, right, whether if they're an agent looking to work with you, whether they're somebody who wants to, work with you as their business partner to help them with their brand. What are some of the best ways for people to reach out directly to you to learn a little bit more about all of your business offerings?
So for the branding and promotional materials, I can be reached via email at orders.princeton@fullypromoted.com. And my phone number that I can be reached directly at is 609-686-2026. And then we will also post the link for the website, which is www.fullypromotedprinceton slash Princeton dash NJ.
Awesome. We'll make sure to leave that information in the description and the show notes down below so that people can find you easily. But other than that, I just want to say thank you again for your time. Before we let you leave here, wanted to see if you have any last piece of advice, any last tips, anything you want to leave with the audience here today.
Um, Kobe, first of all, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really enjoyed working with you and having the whole team, and this is amazing. All I want to leave as one note, if everyone can take it, is don't be scared of anything. If it's AI, entering into a new business, doing any of those, you can always find people to help and support. And at any given point in time, if anybody wants any help in terms of what did I go through my experience, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help. But the key is build relationships, build partnerships. That's what you want. And that is what is going to take you to the next level. That is the differentiation.
Absolutely. That's some great advice. Rashmi, thanks again for being on the show. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next show. Take
Thank you.
care.